Hi, my name's Noah Ritter, and I am known as the Apparently Kid.
I've never been on live television before.
I was interviewed when I was about 6 or 5 at a county fair, and I said the word apparently a lot, and people liked that. And so the video went viral, and then it got turned into a meme.
Apparently, sometimes I don't watch the news.
So it's like there was a news station around this fair, and me and my family had just gotten off a ride, and they were right next to an area. And my grandfather, who's like my best friend, he like pushed me towards the news station lady, and she started talking to me, and then I stole the microphone away from her, and I just started rambling on about what I did at the fair.
Because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball.
I started talking about the different rides I went on and stuff like that. I was always a very talkative kid. I'd go up to anyone, like they could have been a complete stranger, and I'd go up and talk their ear off. I'd rant about anything I was interested in that day. I was a very outgoing kid. I still am.
Tell me about the ride. What did you think about the ride?
Well, it was great.
Why?
Because apparently you're spinning around, and apparently every time you get dizzy.
I think it's because whenever I go on like a long tangent or talk for a while, I use like and uhs and stuff like that. And my mom had been trying to make me stop saying and uhs because it didn't sound too good. So I just replaced and uhs with apparentlys.
Apparently.
Yeah, the night we got home, my grandpa called me out into the living room, and he was like, "Look at the TV. Like, look, you're on the news and you're famous." And I remember watching it, and I remember a bunch of family members calling me and congratulating me.
And I've never ever been on live television. I never ever be on live television.
I think the next day, the same news station came down to my house for a follow-up interview.
I used to like the Giants, but my grandfather brainwashed me into liking the Steelers.
Well, my friends didn't believe me at first because I would always like talk about like extravagant like adventures and stuff like that, and then sometimes they would be real, sometimes they'd be clearly made up just from my imagination. But once they saw that it was actually me, they were pretty excited for me. My mom and my stepdad, they were also pretty excited. And some of the reactions, like in the comments of the video, they were talking about like, "Oh, this kid's really cute. Oh, this is hilarious." Like they're laughing about how I just stole the microphone from the lady and I just started rambling on about everything. And whenever we'd go out to like the movies or something, or go out to like the store, people would see my red hair and they would see me, or they'd hear me talking, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, that's the Apparently Kid," and they'd come up and ask for a picture or like a high five or a handshake.
Thanks, bud. I'm a big fan of you.
Well, I grew up watching YouTube. I was mostly like raised on the internet, so I watched a lot of YouTubers and like Let's Players and stuff like that. So I always wanted to be like them. I always wanted to like be an internet personality, talk in front of a camera for like an hour or two every day, and just had fun.
Guess what?
What?
You know what I did in my hotel room?
Tell me.
I jumped bed to bed.
It feels kind of crazy because whenever I'd be like watching, like I could be watching some random YouTube video, and if the guy who was like talking in it would say apparently, there was a chance that like a picture of me as a little kid would pop up. And I've seen like a bunch of one, like every time my friends see one, they'll like send it to me. I've had teachers in class like pull up one of my videos because they didn't believe me, and then they watch the video and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's really you."
I just freak out.
I think a month or two after my interview, the guys at schmoyoho, they remixed the interview into like a song because they used to do like a series about that.
Apparently, it was great. Apparently, every time you get dizzy, all you used to do is get dizzy.
And they've done it, and they did a remix of that remix recently, and I posted it on my YouTube channel. Like, my nickname on my football team for my entire freshman year was Ellen.
Yeah, and by the way, I love how you get to jump onto beds.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do in hotel rooms. I think everybody here gets in a hotel room and you jump on beds, don't you?
So it's like no matter what. I think one of the coaches called me at one time, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna stick with me all 4 years of football."
So when you're doing this, is your grandpa opening the minibar or what's happening?
It's my mom's boyfriend. He opened this guy, Grandpa, right here. That's when I was going to the bar.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely calmed down a little bit. I haven't been, flying out to LA and stuff like that, but I'm still posting on my YouTube channel. Like, whenever me and my grandpa go to a movie, we'll do like a quick review about the movie. We'll talk about how we enjoyed it. Just going to school, doing football, stuff like that. It was amazing. The guy that was interviewing me, Jeremy Lewan, he was great. He was amazing. He was so nice. He was really cool. I'm gonna be honest. He was more famous than me at that fair because everyone knows him as the weatherman. You got a bunch of old ladies coming up to like, oh, I love you on the weather, and he's trying to move them over to me, and walking around the fair, looking at like all the whole old history and stuff like that. He was really interested in that, and my grandpa definitely had fun talking to him about like old farm equipment.
And they filmed me jumping on the bed, just slamming down on the bed.
Wow. You just love life, don't you?
What I can say, he's a really amazing person. He's always pushed me to do new stuff and do it at like 110%. He's always been like looking out for me. He was kind of like my agent when I was young, before I hired like an actual agent. He made sure that I wasn't doing anything like, I wasn't like signing any like bad contracts that were gonna like mess me over. So he's always been looking out for me, and he always accompanied me on every trip to California or any other place where I wasn't at home. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's I think it's _apparently kid. It's a little picture of me as the profile picture. And yeah, my YouTube channel is The Apparently Kid. And yeah, like and subscribe some of my videos and watch out for future content.